Hasan went on stream to announce that his global entry pass for international travel was revoked by the US government. Immediately, this started a firestorm of discourse on the internet, with some of Hasan's supporters arguing that this is persecution by the United States government for Hasan's political beliefs, and some on the other side saying that of course this was going to happen, Hasan supports terrorism and this was a privilege granted to him. He then ended up showing the entire email that he received from the Department of Homeland Security, where they listed the possible reasons that this could have been revoked, one of which directly mentioning the possible supporting or aiding of terrorism. This whole thing even brought into question Hasan's recent detainment that happened, which we also covered on this channel, where he alleged that he was stopped and interviewed at an airport for a few hours and they asked him questions about the Trump administration and the Houthis, etc. But now people are starting to believe it was just because he was in the wrong line for global entry, which he didn't have. Welcome to the internet versus Hasan's revocation. It starts when Hasan Abi Productions tweets out, "The Trump administration revoked Hasan's global entry pass due to his political coverage," attaching this clip.
It says, "Dear Hasan Piker, thank you for your participation in the Global Entry Program of U.S. Customs and Border Protection. Global Entry is a voluntary program available to travelers that pass a comprehensive background investigation. Applicants found to be ineligible for Global Entry participation may still be permitted to enter into the United States, although they will not be permitted to use the Global Entry lanes. We regret to inform you that your membership in Global Entry has been revoked for the following reason," in parentheses S, reasons. There's a big space there. And the only thing that it says is, "You do not meet program eligibility requirements." This is after they gave it to me. So that's it. Was it revoked before Trump's inauguration? No, after.
The page then continues with another clip saying, "They also admitted to detaining Hasan at the airport, but won't confirm or deny whether he's on a federal watch list."
Complaints most often arise because the traveler's name and personal information is similar to the name and personal information of another person in systems which contain information from federal, state, local, and foreign sources, or because the traveler has been delayed in travel for reasons unrelated to such data, such as by random screening. DHS Trip has researched and completed our review of your case. DHS Trip, this part is amazing, can neither confirm nor deny any information about you which may be within federal watch lists or reveal any law enforcement sensitive information. However, we have made any corrections to records that our inquiries determined were necessary, including, as appropriate, notations that may assist in avoiding incidents of misidentification. For your general information, here's how redress helps you when traveling. It's like, again, that's just general information. Give me why I got I'm asking why I got specifically detained. And they're just like, listen, we can't confirm or deny what it is, but we've made necessary changes.
Willie Mackshow replies, "This was on me. My bad. I'll call Dawn about it." DD Investigation says, "Good. He needs to be deported." On Brand Views replies, "Maybe 10 toes down with the Houthis or America deserved 9/11 did it." And OC Lee replies, "Protected speech, bozo." MGS2 Master replies to the clip by saying, "And the administration said Hasan was lying. He is definitely on their radar." Rock Solid quotes the clip and says, "Hashtag deport Hasan to Turkey." Pheno replies, "We don't want him. Hashtag deport Hasan to Greece." Nuxtaku quotes the clip and says, "Be Hasan Piker. America deserved 9/11. Support multiple terrorist organizations. Tell your audience to kill 2 US senators. FBI revokes global entry. Try to enter USA with global entry anyway. They ask questions at airport security. Cry about being detained for 2 hours." Queeman quotes the clip and says, "Surely now that we have confirmation, people will admit they jumped to conclusions, believed an open liar like Dan Saltzman, and were happy to abandon free speech when it was actually under attack, right?" Tessa Gray's Fox's quote tweets the clip and says, "Literal censorship. These fascists are afraid of a Twitch streamer." Then over on LSF, Daniel Moore posted this clip of Asmongold reacting to the revoking with the title, "Hasan's membership in the Global Entry Program was revoked by the Department of Homeland Security."
Presents a potential risk for terrorism. Oh. Criminality, violating customs, agriculture, and/or immigration laws, or is otherwise not a low-risk traveler. The risk determination will be based on part of the applicant's ability to demonstrate past compliance with laws, regulations, and policies. I mean, Hasan was literally in the middle of the fucking highway the other day, right? I mean, that's not, as far as I know, standing in the middle of the highway isn't legal.
Polar Zebra replies, "The Department of Homeland Security are very musical people." And Razorwipe says, "It's what Luffy would have done." And Fisting with Chivalry replies, "And D Be Frank. Raise Your Dongers replies, what is the global entry program? And Epitaph says, basically TSA pre-check on crack for international flights, but with a more extensive background check needed to qualify. And Mariachi says, but it's only inbound flights. Dr. Zalost says, just a reminder that this happened before he got back from France. He claimed he still had it and was waiting in the global entry line, so if he was waiting in line for something he didn't have, that explains why they held him up for questioning. Just adds some extra context. And Plossor replies, that would have been really easy for customs to say that was the reason when they specifically tweeted about that situation. It would have been a slam dunk. In fact, why didn't they? I have one guess. And Nimrod replies, can they legally out people who are disqualified from the program? Dr. Zalos says, I don't know either. Maybe it's a situation where one handed doesn't know what the other is doing. And Gypsy Danger replies, you know, sometimes it's just incompetence and people bad at their jobs, right? Not everything is a conspiracy. STV replies to the original post by saying, some of y'all acting like he's on a no-fly list because he has to wait in line now. And Throwaway Slay says, they can't handle even the most mild consequences for Hasan slobbering terrorist dick all day. And Comin 4 says, that 24-hour ban on a break day was literally oppression of the highest levels. Hasan literally lost millions of revenue and clout he could have stopped the genocide in Hazza with. And 2P replies to the post by saying, free speech. Global entry isn't a right. It's like an amusement park fast pass but for airport security. No one took away his rights, they just took away his bonus privilege for being a rich and famous person who travels a lot. Edit. Everyone please stop telling me regular people can afford global entry. It was a hyperbolic turn of phrase and you're all ignoring my main point for what you think is a gotcha moment. 19 Alexastius replies, you don't have to be rich or famous for global entry. And Mughal says, I just got a credit card that will pay for pre-check or global entry. And since global entry includes pre-check, I figured why not? My work will also reimburse me for the cost of obtaining a passport, so I'm getting that for free too. Then there is the full letter and email that Asmongold and Hasan skimmed over in the last two clips that we watched earlier. Now this email gives a full list of reasons as to why someone may be denied, one of them being having engaged in conduct constituting in preparation for, in aid of, or related to terrorism. I'll let you guys decide if you think that's the reason, but the email starts when he tweets out, Hasan reveals letter and email that the Department of Homeland Security sent him months ago revoking his global entry. And the email says, global entry is a voluntary program available to travelers that pass a comprehensive background investigation. Applicants found to be ineligible for global entry participation may still be permitted to enter into the United States, although they will not be permitted to use the global entry dedicated lanes. We regret to inform you that your membership in global entry has been revoked for the following reasons. You do not meet program eligibility requirements. If you believe the decision was based upon inaccurate or incomplete information, you may be eligible to request reconsideration through the Trusted Traveler Program application website. Dear Hasan Piker, thank you for submitting your travel inquiry form and identity documentation to the Department of Homeland Security Travel Redress Inquiry Program regarding your participation in the Global Entry Program. CBP is tasked with protecting our nation's borders as well as enforcing numerous laws at our nation's ports of entry on behalf of a variety of other government agencies, including state and local law enforcement. CBP officers routinely access information provided by these agencies to conduct examinations. All international travelers attempting to enter the United States, including U.S. citizens, are subject to examination upon each arrival into this country. Occasionally, CBP may inconvenience law-abiding persons in our efforts to detect, deter, and mitigate threats to our homeland caused by the few individuals who are involved in illicit activities. We rely on the patience, cooperation, and understanding of travelers to ensure the effective protection of our borders. After careful review, we have determined that your Global Entry Program membership was revoked because you do not meet the guidelines for program participation. An individual is ineligible to participate in the Trusted Traveler programs if CBP, at its sole discretion, determines that the individual presents a potential risk for terrorism, criminality, violating customs, agriculture, and/or immigration laws, or is otherwise not a low-risk traveler. This risk determination will be based in part on an applicant's ability to demonstrate past compliance with laws, regulations, and policies. Reasons why an applicant may not qualify for participation include, but is not limited to, the applicant provides false or incomplete information on the application, the applicant has been arrested for or convicted of any criminal offense, or has denied firearm transactions, pending criminal charges, protection orders, or outstanding warrants in any country, the applicant has been found in violation of any customs, immigration, or agricultural regulations, procedures, or laws in any country. The applicant is the subject of an investigation by any federal, state, or local law enforcement agency in any country. The applicant is inadmissible to the United States under applicable immigration laws or has, at any time, been granted a waiver of inadmissibility or parole. The applicant is known or suspected of being or having engaged in conduct constituting, in preparation for, in aid of, or related to terrorism, or the applicant cannot satisfy CBP of his or her low-risk status or meet other program requirements. In the event you are denied or revoked from the Trusted Travel programs, you will be provided information in writing detailing the reason for this action. You should carefully review the denial or or revocation requests and, if applicable, submit detailed information they believe CBP should consider. The reconsideration request must include enough information to allow CBP to conduct a review. Incomplete requests or requests with minimal documentation or details regarding an incident may not support reconsideration of the application. While CBP cannot always disclose the exact reason for denial or revocation of the Trusted Traveler Program status, individuals may still request reconsideration even if they do not know the reason for their denial/revocation. Trusted Traveler Program Ombudsman will consider all available information when evaluating the individual's eligibility for the Trusted Traveler programs. Then it just says you can request on the website and how to do it. And finally, they appreciate his interest, signed Troy Ridgway. Based Hudson Hawk replies, so he's bitching he doesn't get preferential treatment once again? And Anthony replies, it turns out bitching gets you punished by the government where they take away your paid service because they don't like your politics. And Based Hudson replies, do you realize how retarded you sound by saying bitching gets you punished by the government when millions of other people in this country bitch about the government and aren't getting declined for global entry? But yeah, I'm sure it has nothing to do with his open support of terrorist organizations, supporting of terrorist rhetoric, or calling for the death of US senators. GigaBear replies to the original post by saying, why would he post a letter confirming he's been deemed a terrorist sympathizer by the US government? And Marcus replies, his audience already hates the US government. They probably see this as an achievement. Asmongold continues to weigh in on the situation when Yeet tweets out this clip with the caption, Asmon thinks the Department of Homeland Security got a huge W in revoking Hasan's global entry, attaching this clip.
And yeah, I don't know what to say about that. Really obsessed? I guess so, right? But anyway, I'll see if there's anything else that's worth looking at with this. But yeah, he got declined from Homeland Security. He lost his privilege, by the way. This is not a right, it's a privilege to get this pre-clearance because of his outspoken and direct support of terrorist organizations. This is a huge Department of Homeland Security W, and I think even Hasan can understand that they're making the right decision. And there is literally no way to defend it otherwise. There is no way that you can come to the conclusion that that is not the right call to make. Huge W.
Tectone replies to this picture of Rogan saying, based? And Gino says, the face she makes when her Uber Eats arrives. r/Fouxmoi also posts the clip that we looked at earlier of Hasan announcing it. And Rosie Behave replies, thankfully, Hasan takes this stuff on the chin. This regime is doing everything it can to make us fear them, and all I can do is laugh at the audacity. Cruel but Unusual replies, yup, laughter might be the best medicine in this specific situation. They want us scared. Watching those kids at the LA protest ask Hasan for selfies in the middle of flashbangs going off tells me these kids aren't scared at all. And Rosie says, and his videos walking around the protest the last couple days prove to me that it's overwhelmingly not violent. This regime hates him so much for just reporting reality. Civil Development says, Hasan has been doing great lately, out protesting multiple days and showing that the violence that mainstream media portrays is not reality. The solidarity and camaraderie on the ground is empowering to watch and goes against the narrative of the violent protesters. He's one of the only left-wing voices young men have, so it's nice to see him out there putting in work. Then over on RH3H Productions, Fuku Wardani posts Eat's last tweet, the one we just read, and Ding Gemma replies, the stop for secondary questioning was on May 11th. If this truly came months ago, then he was stopped because he used the global entry line without even having global entry, attaching this old Hasan tweet from May 11th, which we covered on this channel, along with all the different discussion around his detainment, where Hasan said, I got stopped by CBP at global entry for additional questioning. I'm out, it wasn't that bad. Very strange experience overall though. Back over to the Reddit post, it continues by saying, of course that's gonna happen. Somehow he turned that into a 2-hour detention by ICE because it was the flavor of the month with actual victims of ICE's persecution like Mahmoud Khalil, and he wanted to latch onto that. He was stopped for secondary questioning, not detained, by CBP, not ICE, at a border port of entry for 30 minutes, not 2 hours. And it was because he used the global entry line when he didn't even have a global entry. What is that? 4 or 5 lies in one? Shout out to our tier 3 members, internet representatives Kiko and Southside. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I'll see you all in the next episode.